Good morning. Welcome to Bitcoin Bounce. My name is Joseph, and today I'm here with Dion. And today we want to look at top 5 coins that we want to buy before 2023, just to hold on to, because we don't see lows like this often. And this is definitely a buying opportunity, even if you just take a little bit of money and you just buy 5 coins and hold onto it. So I'm going to jump in and just tell you what is my 5 coins. So I'm looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Ripple, and Polygon. That's my 5 coins. I know it's safe choices, but and they might not have the major upticks that some of the other coins could have, but that's the 5 I like. Other ones that was full consideration for me was also Solana and Phantom, just because there's some positive news on them and they're very low right now. So Dion, I want to ask you, if you have to take a little bit of money and buy 5 coins before 2023 to just hodl, which 5 would you buy, Dion?
I agree with those of you, Joseph. I would also look at Quant. I love that coin, and Matic. Ada, you mentioned XRP. I would get a little bit into XRP, and definitely Theta. I love Theta. I think Theta's definitely going to do a good move. Yeah, so those are the ones I would look at as well. But yours are great.
Yeah, I want to encourage you. I know end of the year, just before Christmas, people don't always have a lot of money lying around. But if you have a little bit, just buy a little bit of coins and just hold onto it, because this is such an excellent time to buy coins right now. A lot of people started hodling when Bitcoin was at $30,000 and $40,000, and they're still holding on. But right now, the same people don't want to buy more, and this is actually a better time to buy. So that's kind of the video about today. Now, we're going to feature a video that's called Top 5 Crypto to Buy Before 2023. And I think it's an excellent analysis that we're going to receive there. So I invite you to enjoy it with us.
Let's take a look at some of the cryptos. First of all, we're going to talk about Phantom. And this is one that I have not talked about on the channel very much. And I made a few videos on it during the bull market. I've been really sticking to Bitcoin for the most part this year, talking about Bitcoin, but also just buying Bitcoin all year. But Phantom is really interesting. They just posted this. They have over 450 million Phantom, which is about $90 million right now. They have $100 million in stables, $100 million in crypto assets, $50 million in non-crypto assets, which is pretty significant when you take a look at their market cap here in a second. Their salary burn rate is about $7 million per year, so they have about 30 years left without having to touch their Phantom bag. So they're not going to have to dilute, or not dilute. They're not going to have to sell to the open market and dump their bags. Now, they still hold a good portion of the overall Phantom market cap, but still, that is a significant amount of runway. They have about $10 million a year, excluding any capital gains that they earn from the blockchain. So they are positive cash flow by about $3 million, and they're still scaling up. And when you look at what their market cap is, they are only a $500 million market cap, fully diluted about 638 million. So this is pretty small. If you look back to where they were in the bull market, they're down over 90%. They're around $3.15 at their peak, and now they're at 20 cents. Now, a couple months ago, actually about a month ago, we saw this big spike. They went from about 22 cents all the way up to 31 cents in a few days. Now, this happened because their lead developer, Andre Crony, came back. He added FTM to his bio, he updated his LinkedIn, and he also updated his profile picture and post, here we go again. They had fallen down about 30% in a day when he left, and now they pumped back up when he came back. Now, since then, I think a lot of people sold off just because some people bought into the hype that he was coming back, but then some people realized, hey, I'm going to take some of my bag and sell it because we're still in a bear market. So then it fell back down. It almost fell 50% here in just a few weeks, but now it's still about the same price that it was before he came back. Now, of course, the overall crypto market has fallen since then about 20%, but still, I think Phantom's a really interesting crypto right now. They are only 69th overall on the total market cap. They have their lead developer back. they are cash flow positive. They're in a good place where they don't have to spend a lot of cash, and they're still making more cash than they're burning. I am looking at buying more, but I am going to wait a bit. They're up 4% in the last 24 hours. They've been up compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum even more than that when you look at their valuations. So I am waiting a while for buying Phantom. I'm mostly going to be watching it because when I do see the market change, I do want to get a position in Phantom because I think it will be a really easy 10 to 20x if we go back up to all-time highs, and maybe even more than that. So I am looking to buy more. I still hold a little bit of Phantom from the bull market, but I would like to add some more. Now, moving on to a much larger crypto, we have Ethereum here. And back during the 2017 bull market, you can see the price ratio was about at 0.16, and it fell down all the way to 0.016. That's a huge difference. And since then, we saw it move up to about, at the peak, about 0.09, and it fell down to 0.05, and now we're back at about 0.07. Now, this is an interesting thing to look at because it really shows how well Ethereum is holding up this bear market versus the last one. We're talking about a significant increase in the price of Ethereum during a drawdown, and I would be looking out. I've been wanting to buy Ethereum more heavily because I have a lot more Bitcoin than Ethereum, and I do think that Ethereum has a lot of promise, but I am looking for it to fall down a little bit. You can see a couple different areas of key support here. We've seen it bounce off of about 0.065 several times. We also saw during the kind of the depths of some of the June bear market, we saw it fall down to about 0.05. So if you want to get greedy, you could wait for about 0.05. Otherwise, I'd be looking to buy more around 0.065. So about a 10% drop for Ethereum now, which would put us right around $1,050 if Bitcoin stays in the same price. Now, I am looking to buy Ethereum a little bit below that, honestly. I would like to see around 900 or so. That is where I will be buying more heavily. But I do think Ethereum has a lot of promise. Like I said, we have the merge that happened just a few months ago, about 75 days ago. And since then, we've actually been net negative in Ethereum issuance. So we actually burned about 1,200 Ethereum. And if we simulate this versus the proof of work, take a look at this. We would have had over $1 billion, if you see here, $1 billion worth of Ethereum issued. So we would be inflationary about 3.57%. Instead, we're net deflationary. And this is at a time where Ethereum's not being used a lot. It's not like a lot of people are buying NFTs or a lot of people are, building on Ethereum or using Ethereum compared to the bull market. And you can see how this has been changing. And we have had a little bit of a rush into NFTs. We've had the floors go up pretty significantly over the last couple weeks. But I still think that this is kind of a quiet time and we're still deflationary overall. And with staking as well, that could be a great way to earn income. That's a little bit safer, definitely a lot safer than having it on some central exchange. So I will be looking to buy more Ethereum here in the near future as well. Now, moving on to the next crypto, a lot of people wonder about Solana these days. It's down at $13.45, fell significantly after the FTX collapse. It was at about $37, $38, and then fell about 60% or so, 65% in about a week. Now, BitBoy Crypto says every time the Solana blockchain paused, it was actually Alameda Research laundering money and brute forcing transactions. So he says, basically, if you're in Sol, run for the hills. I am not saying to go buy Solana. You have to do your own research. But Solana is interesting to me still. Here's some stats on them. Daily transactions versus top chains. 19.9 million versus 3.1 million on Polygon and Polygon's second. So 6 times the amount of daily transactions versus the next top chain. Daily active addresses. It is third. It has about 342,000 versus about 457,000 on Ethereum. So you can see the active addresses are transacting a lot more, which is what I thought about Solana in the first place, that those that use Solana are using it for a lot of transactions at a time. So the daily active addresses are using Solana about 50 to 60 times a day. Now, the price has fallen quite drastically. It was over $260, I believe, at the peak. Of course, FTX was highly associated with Solana and held a lot of Solana, maybe still do hold a lot of Solana, so we could see further price movements downward. And unfortunately, they do have a lot of TVL coming out of Solana. So they had billions, now they're at 283 million. So their reputation has definitely been hurt, but it will definitely be an interesting one to watch that you should probably keep on your radar because it is still being used a lot. Now, speaking of another crypto that is being used a lot, and of course I should say too, with Solana, I'm not saying to go buy it. Like I said, this is a video about the top cryptos to buy, but you have to do your own research. I have not been buying it, but I am going to keep a close eye on it because if it falls down enough and we get through enough the FTX contagion and impact, it might be an interesting one to put in your very, very, very high risk category in crypto. So moving on to the next one, Polygon. I kind of thought of Polygon and Solana in a similar light where they were both used for high throughput and were cheap to transact on. Polygon has actually held up really well compared to other cryptos in the bear market. It's down about 67% or so. It's at about 83 cents. It fell all the way down to 33 cents during the June crash and now is up 150% plus since then. And part of that is because they have so many partnerships that they've announced recently. Starbucks is going to work with Polygon, and they're going to make NFT traders out of coffee drinkers. Also, they have 60 million people that they serve every single week, roughly 4 million coffee-based beverages sold on a daily basis. So they're going to expose a lot of people to Polygon. And even if you're just in the app and you're wondering, what are these NFTs? And you start reading about it, reading about some of the benefits of having these NFTs, you might get interested in Polygon. They also are having partnerships with Nike, so they're going to have these NFTs as well. And I believe you can sign up for that later this month. Also, Reddit is working with Polygon, and their NFTs exploded by about 10x recently. Matic is also working with Meta because they have Polygon-powered NFTs on Instagram. And JP Morgan is also using Polygon. Now, that's what I like so much about Polygon, not just the cheap price of transacting and the high throughput, but I love what they're doing in this bear market. They're trying to expand who they're working with. They're trying to work with real brands outside of crypto, which is something that a lot of other cryptos and projects have a hard time doing, making real important partnerships with big brands. And you have to know that these brands are checking out Polygon, evaluating it versus other cryptos, and determining what's best for them, what's safest, what makes the most sense for a high amount of transactions. And it makes sense to go with Polygon. So even though Polygon's held up so well, it's still a $7.2 billion market cap, 8.3 billion fully diluted. It does look like a very attractive crypto to buy if we start returning to a bull market. Now, maybe you want a dollar cost average before then. I personally will kind of wait for a sign that the market's reversing, but that can happen really quick, so just pay attention to that. Then the last one I want to talk about is Bitcoin, the biggest of them all. Of course, Bitcoin, I think, has to be on the list. I've been buying Bitcoin all year, and it's definitely the lowest risk crypto on the list. It is around 16,000 right now, close to the lows of about 15.5 thousand. I continue to dollar cost average into this, and I will continue to dollar cost average into this. As I said earlier in the video, if it falls down to $10,000 to $12,000, I will probably put a significant amount in just because it will be so, in my opinion, so close to the lows. Then I will continue to DCA less after that. I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere. I think it is the only real safe option to store your own wealth that can't be taken away from you. And again, you want it to not be taken away from you, which is why I talked about Treasure. There are links to this underneath the video, but cold storage is the best way to hold it. If we get down to, 10,000 to 12,000, I think that will be a generational buying opportunity. And part of that is because we've never faced recession. We've never faced increasing interest rates. And I think there definitely could be a big recession starting next year, or it's already started. I think, honestly, that we're partway through it. But with that in mind, we haven't had that since we got Bitcoin, really. We were coming out of a recession when Bitcoin was created. A lot of people didn't know about it until the economy was booming. And recently, we're getting this opportunity to buy in when we're at a very tough economic time. So I think that should be considered not just as a negative, but also as a positive. If you're holding on to Bitcoin, you're still holding on to something that will probably appreciate a drastic amount over the coming years as people become less and less interested in keeping their wealth on centralized entities. And I think FTX shows that, the collapse of FTX. And I think that even where we're at now, around a $16,000, $17,000 price, people are getting really excited over small movements, but it's not like a lot of money is rushing into crypto. It's all the people that are already in crypto that are getting excited. But if you had just not paid attention for the last couple weeks, you would be wondering why Bitcoin's down so much. You wouldn't be excited over it going up a couple $100 in a couple hours, wondering what the news is. So I still think we have about a 10x, even from right here, into the next bull market. So you can probably sell at a pretty good time without trying to time the market too much, just taking profits, and you're still going to make 4 or 5x from here. That's a significant amount. Even just to $100,000, which I know is going to be no easy thing, that's a 6x. So even if you're waiting years for this to pay off, a 6x is massive in investing. So that is what I think about the market right now. I think there are a lot of cryptos that are looking really attractive. I'm going to continue to buy Bitcoin most significantly until I see some kind of change in the market. But a lot of these cryptos are going to be really important to watch moving forward. And of course, we could see more contagion, so be careful out there. But it is a very interesting time, and some of these cryptos are starting to look better. I think we will see a bounce back in crypto in 2023.
Hey, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're going to buy a little bit of crypto right now. A lot of people are talking about exchanges. Most of my money is in Binance. I think Binance is here to stay. They're the biggest crypto exchange. So probably if I would have to recommend a place where you can hold your coins, that it's not a bad place. But we're going to be back on Friday morning.
Thank you guys. Yeah, see you on Friday. Cheers.